Week number 5 in the National Football League. The Seahawks coming off their first loss of 2024 as they take on the New York Football Giants. The Seahawks have had their way with the Giants the last couple of seasons, and now they're looking to get back on track, but they're going to be a bit short-handed. Coming up on this edition of Seahawks Today, we'll go over the injury report. I'll give you my keys to a Seahawks victory and my prediction as well. All that and more in just a few moments. The odds for this game, the Seahawks 6.5-point favorites. We'll see how they stack up. What do you guys think about this one? If you're ready for game day, I need you to spam S in the comments section. It's our rallying cry. We do this on all of our live shows on Seahawks Today as if we're in Lumen Field enjoying Seahawks football together. I want to see as many S's in the chat. I need at least 300. If you're ready for game day, you're ready for a Seahawks win, show up, get loud, get proud. Let's do our part, and we'll get going here on today's show. The injury report for the Seahawks is pretty extensive, specifically when it comes to the defense. Leonard Williams with a rib injury. He's questionable. Uchenna Nwosu with the MCL, questionable as well. Jerome Baker, he's the one that Mike Macdonald was the most optimistic about of making a return, but we shall see. Boye Mafe with a knee injury, also questionable. Byron Murphy with a hamstring, questionable. And Julian Love with the injury he suffered against the Lions. That thigh injury, he is questionable there. So you're looking at 6 impact players on defense, all banged up heading into this week. Meanwhile, for the Giants end of things, they have some big names, big contributors on their injury report, including Malik Neighbors, who has been arguably the best rookie in the entire NFL. He's looked fantastic. He's been the Giants' entire offense. He is questionable with a concussion. Devin Singletary with a groin injury. He is questionable. While corner Adoree Jackson with a calf injury remains questionable. And Andrew Phillips, the safety, with a calf injury, he is also questionable. So what's it going to take for the Seahawks to beat the Giants this week? Let me start on the defensive side of the ball, which appears to be the big topic of discussion for this Seahawks team heading into this week. And I got to go with my guy Devon Witherspoon here. Devon Witherspoon, can the real Devon Witherspoon please stand up? Last week was just a bad game for the entire defense. And Devon Witherspoon gets included in that fact as well. Although Devon Witherspoon was arguably the best player in the Seahawks defense last week, that doesn't mean he played that good. You look at what the Seahawks defense allowed against Jared Goff. He went 18 for 18. He became the first quarterback in NFL history to go perfect with 15 or more pass attempts. And when you go 18 for 18, that obviously means that the Seahawks defense did not have any passes defended. That's supposed to be Devon Witherspoon's specialty, is getting those pass breakups. It didn't happen last week. You take it even a step further. You look at the coverage grades from PFF. Not a single Seahawk had a coverage grade above 67.3 in last week's loss to Detroit. Devon Witherspoon had the highest with a 67.2. What are we doing here, folks? We got to expect better than that. And I mentioned the pass breakup thing. Devon Witherspoon last year led this team in pass breakups. He's played good to start the year, don't get me wrong. But only one so far to start the year, 21 tackles. And Devon Witherspoon made a big point of emphasis entering 2024 about turnovers, takeaways, getting takeaways. You know what this Seahawks defense has done? Just 3 turnovers in the first 4 games. That's it. They've lost the turnover battle almost every game so far this season. Now, granted, the offense has got to do a better part as well when it comes to that turnover margin. But my goodness, can we get some extra possessions here? Can we help the offense out a little bit more, please? And that starts with the leader of this defense, Devon Witherspoon. Who do you got? You going with the Seahawks or you going with the Giants? Type C for Seahawks, type NYG for Giants. Weigh in and get your predictions in now. Join us coming up on Sunday afternoon for our Seahawks-Giants watch party live right here on Seahawks Today. Our coverage begins at 12:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 Eastern. Big Tex is going to join me. We're going to have a great time rooting on the Seahawks together. Should be a fantastic game. We will see you then. We'll do an hour-long pregame show. We'll have a few drinks on hand, react to the game in real time, do our postgame coverage as well. Lock us in. Don't miss out. Sunday afternoon, live right here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/SeahawksTV, and we will see you then. Let's stay on the defense with our keys to victory and talk about the pass rush now. I want to see an effective pass rush for this Seahawks team. And think about this. You look at what the Seahawks have done, all right, with the Giants over the years and the way that they've performed. They have had their way when it comes to this pass rush. This is when the pass rush has been at their best, when they have faced the New York Giants over the years, with just how much they've been able to get after Daniel Jones and just give him hell for 4 quarters here. And I'm looking at this week. I know you're shorthanded. We talked about the injury report, not having some of your key pass rushers. It doesn't change the game plan. Just because you don't have those guys doesn't mean that this team can just go without getting after the quarterback here. You look at what the Seahawks have done in their last 2 games against the New York Football Giants. This will blow your mind. This is what I call a bull stat because it's so unbelievable. The Seahawks defense has sacked Daniel Jones 15 times in the last 2 games against the New York Giants. They had 10 sacks in 2023. They had 5 sacks in 2022. And what do you know? They won both those games. So if we see the Seahawks with an effective pass rush, then we should know the end result. It comes down to that. Derick Hall, I'm watching for you, man. I've been talking about this guy all week. And I want to see Derick Hall continue what he's been doing. He's got 3 sacks in the last 2 games. With shorthanded the Seahawks are when it comes to pass rushers, Derick Hall, this is your time to shine, brother. This is your time to have a moment. And I think that he's kind of the key for this pass rush to be effective. Kenneth Walker III made his return to the Seahawks last week against the Detroit Lions. And I had some questions going in about Kenneth Walker about, all right, how close to 100% is he? What is he going to do? What can we realistically expect? Are they going to use Charbonnet more and kind of ease Kenneth Walker into things? And that wasn't the case. K9 looked great. In the 2 games he's played this year, he's had close to 200 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns, 3 last week alone against Detroit. Kenneth Walker's been on a tear, close to 6 yards a carry. This is the best we've ever seen from Kenneth Walker in his 3 years in the National Football League. And the Seahawks rushing attack, it's been up and down. There's no ifs or ands or buts about that. We've seen inconsistencies. The Seahawks, I would like to run the football a bit more. I know Geno's played well, but only 36% basically on rush play percentage. I'd like to see them run the ball more. Yards per rush, pretty solid, right? 4.5 yards per rush. That's 11th best in the NFL. Rushes per game, 25th in the league, 23.5 attempts. Rushing yards per game, 20th in the league. When you have a back that's as effective as Kenneth Walker is, then these numbers should be going up. You should be using him more. And the rushing touchdowns per game, they are ranked 2nd in the league. They are doing a very good job when it comes to getting in the end zone and punching things in and capitalizing with their rushing touchdowns with that category. But it can't just be about using the run game in short yardage and in the red zone. I want to see them use it more throughout the game. You got a back like Kenneth Walker. I understand the offensive line isn't that great, but that's what I want to see. Run the football, use Kenneth Walker more, and you'll be in great shape. Who will be the Seahawks MVP against the Giants? Will it be Kenneth Walker? Will it be Geno Smith? Will it be Derick Hall? Who's it going to be? Who's going to be the MVP on Sunday? Get your answers in the chat and let us know. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time. Game Time, the place to go for the best seats, the lowest prices guaranteed. Whether you're looking for tickets to sport events, concerts, theater productions, comedy shows, and more, Game Time has got you covered. Game Time has got your tickets for Seahawks games, including this Sunday's game against the Giants. Game Time also has tickets for the Kraken. Their season about to start up pretty soon as well. You choose the event you want to go to. They got the prices listed. You choose your seat. You get the visual with their seat views. See if you like that seat or not. 3D effect. And then you're checking out with Apple Pay, Google Pay, Venmo, all major credit card providers. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. The link is in the comments and the description of today's video. All right, we got a couple more for you on our keys to victory for Seattle. DK Metcalf, DK touchdowns all day. He rules. DK has been phenomenal to start off this 2024 season. I'd argue he's playing the best football of his life right now, and the numbers back it up. Get this. DK, in this 3-game stretch, 3 straight games with 100 yards receiving. He is the only player in Seahawks history to have 3 straight games with 100-plus receiving yards. Never saw that from Tyler Lockett. Never saw it from Steve Largent or Doug Baldwin or however many receivers over the years. DK was the first to do this, made history. He is on a tear right now. And the way I look at it, it's kind of like in basketball. When somebody's got the hot hand, when somebody is just on a tear, you keep getting him the ball, right? You keep letting him shoot. You heat check him. DK's that guy right now. He's playing like a top 5 receiver. He's playing the best football of his life. Keep feeding it to DK. Get the ball to him early and often and let him cook. Let him do his thing until he says otherwise. I love what I'm seeing from DK. No reason to slow that down and keep up the momentum with him there. Last but not least, on our keys to victory for Seattle is containing Dexter Lawrence. Dexter Lawrence, I got to give credit where credit's due. Dexter Lawrence is a fantastic football player. One of, if not the very best at his position in the NFL. He is, without question, the best player on the defensive side of the ball for this New York Giants team. And what have we talked about all season long with the Seahawks? Their struggles with the offensive line. And going up against Dexter Lawrence does not make me feel comfortable. This is the big thing that keeps me a little uneasy looking into Sunday's game of facing a guy of this magnitude that's so good. He's got 3 sacks in 4 games, even with all the double teams that he takes on. Now, you look at the Giants. Their pass rush has been very solid. Not just Dexter Lawrence either. They've accounted for 15 sacks in the first 4 games. That's 3rd best in the NFL. Meanwhile, the Seahawks offense has allowed 13 sacks in the first 4 games. It's 13th worst in the NFL. That doesn't tell the whole story, though, because if you watch the game tape, if you watch the film, it's obvious to everybody how much pressure Geno's been under with the pocket collapsing time and time again. So although Geno's doing a decent job realistically on his part of avoiding sacks, he's still facing way too much pressure. The Seahawks offensive line has to do what they can to contain Dexter Lawrence. Maybe it's getting an extra blocker in there like a Pharaoh Brown type or using one of the running backs, but they have to keep Dexter Lawrence in mind, contain him, do what they can to slow him down. What's your confidence level in beating the New York Football Giants? How would you scale it for me, 1 through 10? What do you think of the Seahawks' chances of beating New York? Let me know. To recap our keys to victory before I give you my game prediction, I'll say this. We need the real Devon Witherspoon to show up. The real Devon Witherspoon we all know and love. Need an effective pass rush. Need Derick Hall and whoever to get the job done. Get after Daniel Jones. Feed K9. Keep running the damn football. He's on fire right now. He looks very good. Keep it rolling with him. Speaking of keep it rolling, with DK, he's looked fantastic. Keep getting him involved. I don't think there's anybody on this Giants defense that can cover him. containing Dexter Lawrence. Got to do what you can to give Geno time and not let Dexter Lawrence get after Geno. If the Seahawks do all those things, they're going to be in great shape. I'm going with Seattle this week to win this one 23-13. And I think all of us would take that. And for those of us that are betting on the Seahawks as well, we would take that too, because that means we covered the spread on top of that as well. That's my official pick. If you're ready for a Seahawks win this weekend, spam S in the comments section, and we will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today.